Whatever you do, never enter the black house at the end of the street. It sat there like a rotting tooth in an otherwise pristine row of suburban homes. The paint was chipped and peeling, the windows were dark and cracked, and the yard was overgrown with weeds that seemed to reach out like twisted hands. No one ever talked about it. If I asked any of my neighbors, they'd just shrug or quickly change the subject. It was clear no one wanted to discuss the black house. But one evening, I was sitting on my porch, enjoying a beer after work, when I saw something strange. A kid, no older than 10, was walking down the street, kicking a soccer ball ahead of him. He wasn't from the neighborhood, at least I'd never seen him before. As he approached the black house, he suddenly stopped, his eyes fixed on the crumbling building. He stood there for what felt like forever, just staring. I watched, feeling a chill crawl up my spine. I wasn't sure why, but I wanted to call out to him, tell him to move on, to leave that house alone. But before I could say anything, the boy did something that froze the blood in my veins. He walked up to the front gate and kicked his ball into the yard. At first I thought it was an accident, that maybe the ball had just gotten away from him. But the way he moved, slowly and deliberately, told me otherwise. He wanted to see what would happen. My pulse quickened as I watched the boy hesitate for a moment before stepping through the rusted gate, his sneakers crunching on the dead grass. I could barely breathe as I watched him approach the front door, his eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and fear. He reached out, his small hand trembling, and knocked. For a moment, nothing happened. The house remained silent, looming over him like a dark sentinel. I started to relax, thinking maybe it was just an old, abandoned building, that the stories people whispered weren't true. But then, the door creaked open. There was no one there. Just darkness. The kind of darkness that felt alive, like it was watching, waiting. I could see the boy hesitate, his body tense as if he was debating whether to run. But instead, he took a step forward, and then another, disappearing into the blackness beyond the door. The door slammed shut. I jumped up from my chair, my heart pounding in my chest. I rushed down the street, my mind racing. What the hell had I just seen? When I reached the gate, I stopped. The air around the house felt different, heavier, like it was pressing down on me. The windows were dark, and there was no sign of the boy. I wanted to go after him, to bang on the door and demand he come out. But something deep in my gut told me to stay away. It was the same instinct that kept animals from walking into traps, that sense of danger that I couldn't ignore. So I backed away, shaking, and returned to my porch. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the boy's face, his wide eyes staring into that black abyss. The next morning, I walked down to the house again, hoping, praying, that I'd see him in the yard, playing with his soccer ball like nothing had happened. But the house was as silent and empty as ever. I went to my neighbors, asking if anyone had seen the boy, but no one had. Some even looked at me like I was crazy. It was as if the kid had never existed. I checked the local news, missing persons reports, nothing. As the days went on, I tried to forget about it, tried to convince myself that maybe the boy had just left the house and I hadn't seen him. But deep down, I knew something terrible had happened. Then, a week later, it happened again. This time, it was a teenage girl, probably around 16. She was walking home from school, her backpack slung over one shoulder, headphones in her ears. She stopped in front of the black house, just like the boy had. She stared at it, her face pale, as if something was drawing her in. I wanted to scream at her to run, to stay away from that place, but I was paralyzed. Just like before, she walked up to the gate, pushed it open, and walked toward the front door. She didn't knock. She just stood there, waiting. And then the door opened and the darkness swallowed her whole. After that, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know what was happening inside that house. I went to the local library, digging through old records, trying to find anything about the place. What I found was worse than I could have imagined.